Let us now talk about the circulatory mediums. So we have spoken about the blood vessels, we have spoken about the pumping organ, that is heart. So what is left? We are yet left to talk about the circulating medium, that is blood and lymph. So let us start our discussion with blood. What is blood? It is the circulatory medium. That means it is the fluid which actually carries the substances from one place to another. Blood is a fluid connective tissue. Blood is actually 78% of water and only 22% of solids. So it has so much of water in it. It connects different systems of the body by transporting gases, digested food, hormones and waste materials to different body parts. So in this picture you can see that how blood is able to connect between the distant parts of the body. Now this blood has many components. There are different types of components present inside the blood. So let us quickly discuss about the different components of blood. The first component is the plasma, or sometimes also known as the blood plasma. What is this? This is the extracellular matrix. That means the fluid-like thing which fills the blood is known as the blood plasma. It is fluid matrix on which the blood cells are embedded. So blood is nothing but a tissue. So any tissue is made up of cells. So blood is also made up of blood cells. So the blood actually consists of a fluid-like structure on which the blood cells are embedded. So this fluid-like structure is called blood plasma, and on this blood plasma are the blood cells embedded. So what are the cells embedded in this matrix? That means what are the blood cells which we are talking about? We have RBC, also known as red blood cells. These are small cells without a nucleus. These cells do not have a nucleus. They carry oxygen from lungs to different parts of the body. So that is the main function of RBC. RBC also contains the respiratory pigment called hemoglobin, which has affinity for oxygen, and that is also a reason this hemoglobin plays a very important role. Hemoglobin is the pigment because of which the color of the RBCs is red, and that is why the blood is red in color. So hemoglobin is the pigment which gives red color to the blood. Hemoglobin also has a special affinity for oxygen. Affinity means special attraction or special love for oxygen. So hemoglobin will always try to attract oxygen. So even if the oxygen is dissolved in water, hemoglobin will try to extract that oxygen out of it. So because of the presence of hemoglobin, red blood cells will extract oxygen and it will transport it from lungs to different parts of the body. Also, these red blood cells are very small in size, which again helps them to transport to different and distant parts of the body. Their small size enables them to travel in extremely thin capillaries. Let us look at the next component, that is WBC or white blood cells. The name itself says that they are no more white in color. They are nucleated cells. They have nucleus. They help fight infection and builds the immune system. As I told before also, these white blood cells, they are the soldiers of our body. So whenever there is some kind of infection inside our body, they try to fight with that infection, and if the immune system is strong enough, many a times they win over. And when the WBCs win, we do not fall ill. So it is a kind of internal protection for our body. So that is the main function of the WBCs. They live for 3 to 4 days in human body. So they live for only 3 to 4 days and after that they die, but they again generate. So they get generated very quickly and their lifespan is also very short. So here in this picture you can see the different types of WBC cells: neutrophil, eosinophil, basophil, lymphocyte, monocyte. These are the different types of the blood cells. We will talk about the detail of these cells in our higher classes. So let us look at the third component, that is the blood platelets. What are platelets? They are smaller in size. They help in blood clotting. So platelets play a very important role actually in the survival of living beings. Have you ever thought what happens when we get injured? When you hurt yourself by a knife or any sharp object, what happens? You start bleeding. Now, does it happen that the blood keeps on flowing for indefinite period of time? That doesn't happen. blood starts flowing, and after some time it stops. Why does it stop? And what would happen if it doesn't stop? If the blood doesn't stop flowing, gradually all the blood present inside our body will get flown outside, and this excessive bleeding will cause death of that person. So this way we get injured every now and then. So just imagine how people would have been able to survive if the bleeding would have not stopped. So blood platelets play a very important role in controlling this excessive bleeding. So what does it do? The blood clot formed which plugs the injury. Whenever we get injured, so there is a rupture somewhere. The blood vessel gets ruptured somewhere. So that leakage is actually filled up by a blood clot which is formed by the platelets. So that leakage is filled, and therefore the blood leakage is also checked. So leakage would also cause loss of pressure. So whenever there is a leakage in a tube, let us suppose blood is flowing through a tube, there is a leak in the tube. So the high pressure of the blood which was there initially will get affected because now there is a leakage. So this loss of pressure will also affect the efficiency of the pumping system as a whole, because this heart acts as a pumping organ. Why is it able to act as a pumping organ, or why is the blood actually flowing from one place to another? That is because of the difference in pressure. And who maintains that pressure, or who maintains that high pressure of the blood? The fact that the blood is enclosed inside blood vessels, that maintains the high pressure. Right? So now if the blood vessel get leaked somewhere, that pressure is reduced. If that pressure is reduced, the efficiency or the functioning of the entire pumping system will get affected. So platelet